Oh wow, this show actually had a game released at one point? Well, I should probably say that I'm kind of faking my response here, since this is actually a game from my childhood that I probably played way too much than I should have, honestly. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, as I should probably start this off by actually talking about the show that this is based off of real quick. Starting off with the show's name, Camp Lazlo. A show about 3 young Bean Scout campers, and it follows their misadventures while at summer camp. You know, the colorful cast getting involved with whatever camp stuff they could think of, like trying to build go-karts or going up against the girl equivalent scouts. And well, the show is created by Joe Murray, who is the same person who made Rocko's Modern Life, so it's very much that same type of humor. And because of that, I would definitely say that this is probably the most Nickelodeon-esque show that ever aired on Cartoon Network. Now for the quality of the show itself, it's not the worst Cartoon Network show, but it's definitely not one of the best. It's probably one of those shows that you would watch just because something better like Ed, Edd n Eddy or Kids Next Door was on next. Yeah, definitely one of those shows that got lost in the shuffle. Hence the reason that it's very surprising that this show got a game at all. And I guess that's no better segue than to get back to talking about the game itself. And well, the game sees the 3 titular campers, Lazlo, Raj, and Clam, as they try to enter the Leaky Lake games by joining in on various activities in order to get merit badges. And in order to get to these activities, they must help out fellow campers and staff by retrieving items. And well, that's basically the whole game. You need to help campers find stuff, you find it, bring it back, and then you get to play a mini game. And well, in theory, I would say that this definitely sounds like a neat idea. You know, being able to see all the locations from the show and then meet your favorite characters, go on a scavenger hunt for items, and then play mini games all along the way. But I gotta be completely honest, in practice, this is probably one of the most boring games that I've ever played, because it's literally just the definition of a walking simulator, since for most of the game you're just walking around trying to get those objects for the other campers. And the game doesn't even try to engage you by having you actually search for them, it just has a compass at the bottom of the screen that tells you where everything is. Alright, so if the main game isn't any fun, are the mini games worth putting through it to play them? Not really. I mean, there's nothing bad here, and I will give points to diversity. There's like no 2 mini games that are really the same, for the most part. And I do have to give props for the fact that you can go back and replay them. So yeah, this game is just an unfortunate case of, I guess they tried something and didn't do it correctly or the best they could have, which is pretty unfortunate because the music and graphics in this game aren't actually half bad. Although I definitely will admit that I am curious of how the quality of this game would shake out if it came out like in 3D on the PS2 or GameCube or whatever, since I feel like it kind of would have worked a whole lot better there. I guess another unfortunate thing about this game is that the people who made it did actually do their homework, with many direct references from the show, so there was very much work done into watching the show and getting these references that unfortunately not many people would end up seeing. And I know this is definitely a shorter video of mine, but that's really all I gotta say about this game. And unfortunately there's nothing really else to say about this game, it's just really boring. Alright, so here's a speedrunning tip and a sign of how much overplaying this game I did. Whenever you pick up an item, the compass always spins around to show you where the next item is or where you need to go. So whenever you have multiple items to pick up all the ones that don't have an arrow above them, so that way it only does the spinning around when you pick up the last item instead of every single time.